How's everyone doing out there? This is The Awakening. I am Super Solican, and I want to get into this message about divorce. God hates divorce. I want to just tell you this. God, even though in the world we see that the divorce rates are increasing, that's because these marriages are state marriages and they were never ordained by God. But regardless of what type of marriage you went and got the paper from the state, you went to Las Vegas, or you went under some church pastor and had him read you some vows that a lot of people know that they'll never honor. But even regardless of that, when you have sex with a person, when you lay down and two people have sex in a relationship, you've consummated the marriage already. But when you make the commitment, the actual commitment of marriage to a person, telling them you're going to be with them through sickness and health, richer or poorer, these are vows you've taken under the Lord. And it's the same as with making an oath to God. It's not just about you telling that person how you feel about them and what the things that you're going to do, the things that you're going to honor in this relationship. You're telling this to God. A lot of y'all know that I'm not that I'm hitting on something here, because when you weren't, let's talk to the married people. Like, and I'm pretty sure my married people can give more insight on this. The happily married people who have a relationship that's blessed under God. If you look, I've seen pastors say this. They said that their marriage sex, there is greater than anything that they've ever experienced. Their marriage life, being married, is greater than anything that they've ever experienced by themselves, because this is what an ordained marriage is supposed to do. Your wife is supposed to be your helpmate. The husband's supposed to honor his wife. They're supposed to meet each other's needs emotionally and sexually. Sexually, the man is supposed to meet the woman's needs. The woman's supposed to meet all of the man's needs. So they won't even have the reasoning. They won't even have the energy, the spirit to look around to nothing else, because they'll be satisfied. Have you ever heard, like, without getting too vulgar, like when a woman say that she didn't drain her man, like he can't go anywhere else. You understand? Like, she's done her job. And then when a man is with his woman, he's treating her with respect. He's keeping the fire kindled, because God is going to keep, the Holy Spirit is going to keep him on game, keep him on point, let him know, it's in his conscience to let him know when he needs to move with his wife or do things. He's going to be kind. He's not going to betray her. Betrayal, like that's all that's going on in today's society. That's what a divorce is. If there is no fault, it's betrayal. If the man ain't doing, if your man, you say you pray to God, he's went and got you a God-fearing man who works hard. He might not be rich, but he's a good producer, provider for himself. And you can go, only thing you could just have to add a little bit to it, to the household, if you want to live a certain lifestyle. But this is a good man. Your house is taken care of. Everything is good. He works hard. If you sit and just get bored with the man and be like, I don't want to be married no more, which is what I hear a lot of women saying. And some men do this as well. This is some abomination on the earth. A man just looking who deflowered the woman. She might not have even been a virgin, but a man who then laid down, slept with a woman, had kids with her. He just up and find another woman and leave his whole household. Or the woman, or he's so overbearing. He becomes so overbearing that the woman can't meet those astronomical expectations, or those overbearing expectations, and he just discards her. He don't try to work with her. He just divorce her. Look at this is a problem with a lot of rich men, or men that have wealth and a lot of resources. They use women as objects. Look at Holly Weird. Their marriages never last. They only marry these people to for show, to sleep with them for sexual purposes, and then after that's all done with, they just leave the person on the wayside and go to the next one, and then the other person go, to the next person, and the cycle continues. But God hates that. God hates divorce. And why? Because it causes confusion. It causes chaos. Look at the confusion you get. Bro, if you got a wife, you done been with her for 30 years. Y'all pretty much know everything about one another. Y'all pretty much been on know the program that each other is runs. Y'all know the actions, the attitudes. Why would you get a divorce and then try to go get with somebody else and relearn them all over again? Your life, like, that's 30 years into your life. That right there just it resets things, and it causes confusion, because now the person who's been divorced, they in some mental state of 30 years. Like, I've been doing this with this person, like 30 years. I'm looking, you waking up looking for the person. It causes pain, confusion. Now, Lord forbid you have children. Now it trickles down some traumas to the child. We don't even get that in today's day and age, because we're so selfish. We don't care about the kids. We want to tell ourselves that divorce doesn't affect the children at all. Like, I was in, we had an argument, and they saw us having an argument as parents, so it would be better for us to be divorced. That's not logical. That's your logic, and that's not biblical. That's not how he feels. God's not out of God. I'm going to read to you the only parameters for divorce. Let me give this to you real quick. This is thus saith the Lord. This is in the Bible, in the book of Matthew, chapter 5, and this is verse 31. I don't want to hear anything else, like any deviant knowledge from what this book says, any alternative knowledge. People try to fight against the word of the Lord to no avail, is to a futility. This is what the parameters of divorce is. It has been said, anyone who divorces his wife must give her a certificate of divorce. But I tell you that anyone who divorces his wife, look at the word except for marital unfaithfulness, causes her to become an adulteress. And anyone who marries the divorced woman commits adultery. Okay? But what is the exception? This is how you could get divorced, and the Lord is not going to hold it against you as you being an adulterer or an adulteress. If there was marital unfaithfulness, your husband or wife is unfaithful. They're unfaithful to the vows that they made to you. They don't honor those things. Whatever they vowed to you, and they're not faithful in keeping up with that. Now, listen to me. That's cheating on a person, or that's sleeping with somebody else, defiling the marriage bed, adding someone else to it. Of course, it's that. But it's also, you could be unfaithful, and you said that you were gonna honor me through richer sickness and health, richer and poor. Person is sick, you cheating on them. A man is going through financial hardship, and now you divorce him. You are an adulteress. If the man going through financial hardship and you want a divorce, you just only divorcing him to become a adulteress. You only divorcing him to go back to being as a pig returns to slop. You divorcing him, jumping from your high space, jumping all the way down back into the mud, crashing into the mud with all the pigs and slop and all the filthy things of Satan. Like, that's all you're doing. So these divorces, these no fault divorce, that's just like saying, that's just giving incentive to men, just like, don't get married. Like, you making a no fault divorce, that's saying to secular men, don't get married. For us who are God fearing men and who know God, and we depend on Him to direct Him and show us the woman that we need to marry, or and that type of woman is going to honor us by honoring God. You understand? And when you do that, you'll honor your man. You'll do the things that's right. He'll the Holy Spirit will also, the same that it do with the man, it'll do that with you. It'll teach you how to be there for your man, how to, the instances that he needs you. The Holy Spirit will allow you to know. Like, it's like your mom. You call your mom and your mom be like, you're going there to your husband or something, like, go talk to your husband. That's what the Holy Spirit will tell you to do. But a lot of y'all women are far from God, just like the men in this society. So that's why we have such corruption and confusion. Kids so many babies out of wedlock. Kids, the orphanages and stuff is full of children, without parents who don't really care about them or never wanted them. Look at all these abortions going on. You got abortion out there. Why do women got abortion? Because you don't have no man. You don't have no man to be there with you, who to take care of you. You're supposed to have that child. You're not supposed to go snuff that life out in the womb. But again, God is the one. God understands. He overstands these situations. You look at it on a surface level. You only see the surface level of the situation. So you go make this oath. You at one time loved the person enough to get married to him. So for you to betray them after 30 years or after X amount of years, that's not something that God is going to reward you for. Like, for you to jump out of your commitments? What if God been dealing with you for 40 plus years? God been dealing with you for 50 plus years. Sometimes you would definitely fell short from what God wanted you to do. You didn't disobey. You hadn't listened to God. You didn't want to hear Him in your time, your formidable time when you was younger. Man, you did everything you wanted to do, but God didn't divorce you. God is still here for us, who and knocking at the door for some of us who then rejected Him for years upon years. This is how God overstands things. It's a beautiful thing for man and woman to get together. It says in the Bible that man should leave his mother and father and cling to his wife. This is what makes family. And then in turn, it creates community. In turn, that number goes and creates society. Adam is the father of all of us, through Adam and Eve, sin came into the world. So we inherited all of that from our mother and father in Adam and Eve, the first people on the earth. So family is important. Keeping your family together is important. You look at all the men in the Bible, man. Abraham, Moses, everybody was moving with their family. These men were moving. They had families. They were moving with them. Abraham, Isaac, without Isaac, Abraham needed Isaac to continue his legacy, to continue the legacy of the men of God, to continue God's legacy, moving the things forward with the people, the chosen people of God. All I'm saying is it's simple. People now, because the devil in America has taught you that there's no fault in divorce, that doesn't make it true. The truth is, God hates divorce. I just read that to you in the book of Malachi. He hates it. And because it's reason, I just explained to you the reasons why. If you got children, you shouldn't even be thinking about divorce. And I'm not talking about a man beating you and committing criminal acts. The Bible tells us how a man should treat his wife. Do you understand? So if he's doing all of that, there should be no reason for you to want to take him to court and divorce him just for no fault at all, because God doesn't recognize that. You made yourself an adulteress. If you a man who do that, you made yourself an adulterer. And anybody who sleeps with y'all, now they're committing adultery. So that's chaos. Now you didn't think, it's some people who be sleeping with other people and the ink on the divorce ain't even dry. Like they're separated and they sleeping with other people. God is gonna punish the person. He gonna punish you, and he gonna punish the person sleeping with you. That's how God does it. You don't believe me? It's in the Bible. In the book of Genesis, chapter 20, verse 16. And this is in the book of Genesis. When Abraham, he was traveling to a foreign land, and he said that his wife, Sarah, was his sister. He wanted her to go along with that because he feared that the men of the town, they would have killed him and took his wife because she was so beautiful. So out of fear, Abraham just told her, just say that, you're my sister and whatnot, which is not far from the truth, because she would be like his half sister. But that's what he wanted her to say, so he can avoid being killed and they take his wife. But he was married to her. So when Amalek, the king Amalek, told her, well, he brought her into himself because she was beautiful. He was going to sleep with her, but God prevented him from doing that. Because why? Because if he had done that, God would have brought a great punishment on him. God, and he has to do it. God has to mete out every punishment for sin and for going against his word. These are some of the punishments we may not understand. They may seem more harsh than we understand, but this is God's mind. He's the one who knows the fullness of the matter. But one thing is guaranteed, that if you sleep with a married man or woman, you are going to be punished for adultery. So with that being said, divorce. God doesn't even recognize that. He hates it. I gave you the parameters, the very small parameters for divorce, and there's not any other wiggle room for that. So no fault divorce, all that stuff is satanic. With that being said, this is The Awakening. I'm Super Solican. Peace and blessings to those who listen to the end of the video. A special blessing for y'all. I'm gone.